Hello everybody, welcome. This is Pendulum Games and Hobbies Archive. I am Ashley LGRJ. I hope you like the rebrand and the rename. We've got a lot going on these days. Currently, I'm still in the process of putting all of my videos into new separate folders and categories. So that's going to take a couple more days. So along with all of that, we're going to be doing a lot of other different subjects, such as what's going on today. We are doing a Let's Talk video. Let's Talk is essentially one of the videos that I'm going to be doing once every week. Technically, it'll be on a Wednesday. And what we are going to be talking about is a specific game. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of said game. So while we're doing that, today we are going to, of course, be talking about Star Wars The Old Republic. And in Star Wars The Old Republic, this is one game that is loaded with topics to talk about. Definitely from the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly. So give me about 1 minute to get myself all kind of set up here. We had a power outage, so everything's all messed up and everything. So it's going to take me a moment to get everything back and settled in again. I had everything all set up, and then that whole thing happened, and my whole computer shut down for a minute, and I'm like, so yeah, okay. So I'm going to kind of get reset up. I do apologize for the delay. Forces of nature and all that. There's really nothing I can do. So I'm going to silence my phone because it's driving me nuts. And we're going to get started. Now, of course, I'm going to have everybody on live. I'm going to get the address to this video out to everybody, so everybody can watch. And we will get started in about a minute or two. So I hope your day has been going very well. Mine's been kind of fizzling a little bit. It's not exactly a bad thing, I guess. It's more monotonous. Everything's just becoming so tedious. I'm getting so sick of the situation that's currently going on out there that I just don't care anymore. I think it's just nonsense now. Where they're yeah. But anyway, we're here to talk about Star Wars. So let's why can I not find anything here? What is going on? Normally I'd have one of these like BRB kind of things going on, but apparently not today. Again, I had that power outage, so everything's all messed up now. I just gotta go back to Twitter and post that I'm live streaming now.
Welcome to Carrick Station. Due to increased security levels, all visitors must register with the Central Security Office before using station amenities.
All right, there we go. All right. Hi, Casper. Welcome. All right. I can see the live chat now. I can see you guys. I hope you guys are. All right. I hope you guys can hear me. I think we're all set to go. Finally, 6 minutes later. I'm probably going to cut that portion out of the video, so I'm probably going to start doing this all over again. Today we are going to be talking about Star Wars: The Old Republic, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this game. As you can see, I am Pendulum Keys. You can find me on the Starforge US server on Star Wars: The Old Republic, made by Bioware and EA. Every expansion that came after the main story has been has had its goods and its bads. We are going to get into each of these topics. Hello, VTB. And if you guys have a question, if you guys want to know something, please give me a shout in the live chat. I will respond to you because I can see it. There might be a 10-second delay between what you're asking and when I give my response, because that's just the way technology works. It's very difficult to give like immediate responses because it takes time for it to get to me and it takes time for my live stream to get to you. I think you're roughly about 5 to 10 seconds behind what I see. I think I narrowed it down to about 5 seconds, but it could be as much as 10. So we'll see. All right. So we're going to start getting into the good of Star Wars. So essentially what these Let's Talk chats are is I talk for about half hour. I give my input, my generalized input, I guess you could kind of say. And then after the half hour, I go into my voice chat in my Discord channel, and anyone can join the chat, and you guys can offer your input, or you can ask questions. Of course, you can ask questions. Or you can ask questions in the live chat if you don't feel like going live on the channel. All right, so let's get started. Again, I do apologize if there's any kind of like disruption in the live stream, because one, I live in a big city, and two, because of the situation going on out there, everybody's on the network, so the network is a little bit slow at this time. We are about to get to questions here. Reaver Reap 576 asks, what are your thoughts for what you'd want to see in future story classes? That's a very, very good question. That question has been something that I've been trying to answer. Well, I have actually been answering people almost every expansion now, because after the first 3 chapters, they've consolidated all of the classes into one storyline, which doesn't make sense anymore. So what I would actually like to see in future story classes are, once again, the separation of the classes. Enough of this whole alliance BS. I would like to see... I would honestly like to see more class-focused story. Go back to the Trooper, where they go back to the Republic and they're trying to fix the Republic, because you don't know what's happening in the background in the Republic. All you know is based on what you're being told in the from the Alliance point of view. But what you really should be doing... Hello, Chaos God Luigi. So what they really, in fact, should be doing is they should instead be focusing on individual class stories. I'd love to see the trooper go back to the Republic, and I would love to see the smuggler once again start exploring the galaxy, and maybe even going into like smuggling into Imperial worlds. I would much prefer the non-force based classes to focus on non-force based situations. In chapter 1, 2, and 3, for example, the trooper was all over the galaxy literally serving the Republic. They weren't serving the Jedi. They were fighting the Sith Empire's main forces. They weren't they were trained to fight Sith, so to speak, but they weren't like the Sith weren't the focus. The Sith were the focus of the Jedi. They were more focused on the Imperial Army and what they were doing. So I would like to see more. I would like to see a lot more of that. You could talk about the agent as well. I would love to see the agent go back to the Sith Empire and try to become that watcher, which can restore Sith intelligence or Imperial intelligence, because as they are standing in the Alliance right now, like all the stories are consolidated, and it just doesn't fit the narrative for 4 of the classes, especially the Bounty Hunter. Like Knights of the Fallen Empire doesn't make sense for 4 of the classes. If you're a non-force class, Knights of the Fallen Empire forward doesn't make sense to you. It's like, yes, I have been roaming the galaxy. I've been making a mark on myself through the galaxy, but why would the Sith Emperor take notice in a non-force user? It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I would definitely like to see that. I don't know what happened there. Did I poof offline? Did I just poof offline? I think I fell offline. Can you guys tell me if I got knocked offline? Okay. I'm just making sure because something happened there. Yeah, definitely. Apologize. All right. So, next step. Let's get to the next question. Sorry, my phone's being dumb. Do I think the Flourish emote will ever be fixed? Do I think a lot of things in this game will be fixed? The thing about the bugs is the fact that Bioware has not been able to fix a lot of them. And the reason behind that is EA has reduced SWTOR's staff by, I think, 75%. So that really goes to show what EA thinks of this game. They don't care. So long as the cartel market is making them money, they're going to keep the game up. But they're not going to put in a whole lot of money to fix the game, because fixing the game doesn't equate to money. In fact, it actually means spending more money in order to fix the problems. And they're not willing to put the money into to fix the game because Star Wars The Old Republic is just not making that much money. It's making enough money to keep the game afloat, but it's not making enough money to come up with big expansions like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, for example. So do I think the Flourish emote will get fixed? They'll probably get to it, maybe, but it's probably so low on their priority list because all they want to do is push narrative. The more they can push story forward, the more people will keep coming back into the game because everyone's being starved for content. And that's another ugly thing about this game is the fact that there's so few people working on the game. And when they do release content, it's like, well, for example, when 6.1 came out, oh yeah, we've got so much going on. 6.1, it's going to have so much. You guys are going to love it. Everyone's going to come back. Everyone's going to enjoy themselves. And all we got is a 10-minute cutscene, which you could actually skip. And that's it. There's nothing else. On the Republic side, you can go and save refugees. Yeah. Let's go save a couple of refugees, everybody. That's it. Like, and if you choose the SWTOR option, you don't even have to do that mission. It'll skip it. The SWTOR option skips the mission. So all you literally get is the cutscene, and that's it. Cool, I guess, but it's like we've waited 3 months for a 10-minute cutscene. Like that shows you just how far behind Bioware and EA are in this game. And I had truly wished, I really did, that when Anthem failed, because that's where all the SWTOR programmers went in the first place. They were all taken away from SWTOR and put into Anthem and told to make this great game, and we all know how that went. Well, I had thought that when Anthem completely failed, that they would bring the programmers back to SWTOR, but instead they're throwing them into other projects. So SWTOR is literally getting bled dry, and your wallets are getting bled dry because that's all this game is. This game is nothing but one massive microtransaction. Expensive microtransaction. Like, take a look, for example, right? Like, for example, let's say you want like 450 cartel coins for $5 US. You put that into like Canadian perspective, and so you put that into like Canadian perspective, that's $8-9 right there, all the way up to about $140 Canadian, $99.99 US, which translates to about $127 Canadian plus
Fuel
taxes.
rationing is in effect. Station
So,
visitors will be refueled in priority order. We apologize for any inconvenience.
That's expensive. So you're getting practically roughly about $50 US, perhaps, after you factor in all the taxes, right? And then let's say you buy 5,500 cartel coins and you want to go in and get something. Well, that $50 that you just spent, well, so you get all of these for essentially 16 of those dollars. Like $16 out of that 50 is just used for this one little bundle here. Or if you want to go like the crazy route, you can go into, you could go to the hyper crate. And as you can see, one hyper crate, 30 packs, is worth 5,400 cartel coins. That's your entire $50 that $50 buyout that you just did. And you get 30 packs. And out of those 30 packs, it's all randomized. You have no idea what you're getting. It's a literal slot machine. It's RNG in RNG in RNG, which means it's like a babushka doll of RNG. You pop it open, what's inside? Another RNG. Great. You pop that open, what's inside? Another RNG. Great. So, ad nauseum. It's, that's how EA makes money on this game. They don't care about your subscriptions. We only, SWTOR probably only has roughly, if you're going to count the Asian servers, which we cannot see, I would probably bet there's less than 200,000 subscribers. I would bet you. And you factor that in, if you have 200,000 subscribers, let's say you have 200,000 subscribers paying, $20 a month for their subscription, which is basically, what, I'm just rounding it off. Let's say we're all paying $20 for a subscription, right? 200,000, 4 million. They're only making 4 million per month, right? But you start factoring in this cartel market, right? You start factoring in the cartel market. I'm going to buy a $50 pack here. Well, that one $50 cartel buy just doubled, even tripled the subscription cost. And you're getting literally a random slot machine. So it's literally, this is the reason why EA and Bioware are like, we don't even have to work on this game. They're just giving us money based on their quality of life. We put out a new stronghold, like, for example, the Alderaan stronghold. We give it 1,035 hooks. How are they going to fill this place with 1,035 decorative items? Well, there's the cartel market. And the reason why the cartel market is so heavily relied upon is because you can't craft decorations in this game. It's not like Final Fantasy XIV where the crafting system is what leads and drives the game's economy. Here, what drives the game's economy is the cartel market. You have to buy from the cartel market to put on the GTN for people who are out making the credits to purchase those items because they don't want to spend real money. So they go out, they spend hours and hours and days upon days and weeks upon weeks ad nauseum to rack up all of these credits, and then they put them to use by buying all of your cartel market items, which you have to wait 36 hours before your item actually even appears on the market itself, because it binds to you for a day and a half, which is absolutely ludicrous. I have not seen another game like this that does that. And another thing you could say, where am I? Okay. I'm going to take you for a trip to the Galactic trade market. We're going to take a look at the GTN. I'm going to show you just how inflated the prices in this game are. And it's going to blow you away. So, let's say we want to get a hypercrate. Right? All right. We're going to get a hypercrate. All right. So you want to look for the cheapest hypercrate, of course. So right now, the major hypercrate that's out right now is the Ultimate Cartel Pack. 500 million credits. That's the more expensive one. You want to go right down to the cheapest. It's, of course, 185 million. 185 million credits for the cheapest Ultimate Cartel Pack. You want a slot machine? It's going to cost you 185 million credits. Or you could get it right away just by spending $50 US, because it's literally worth your entire $5,500 or $5,500. Yeah, that's how inflated it's probably going to get. Your 5,500 cartel coin buy with your $50 that you just did. And $50, yeah, you might say, yeah, it's only $50. It's not a whole lot. $50 is a lot when you're buying more than one, because you're going to need more than one, because that's what gambling does to you. It makes you think it's not a lot until you look in your wallet or your bank account and realize that you just spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars, and you still didn't get what you wanted. It's literally randomized. I'm going to take you to another area to prove my point, just how long it actually takes to purchase this stuff. Now we're just going to go over here. We're going to go over to this place. This here provides a very good example of just how long it's going to take to get that much money. Okay, 185 million credits, I said. Okay, I'm not going to go the cartel market route. Let's just say I'm not going to go to the cartel market route, and I'd rather use the in-game currency and get the money that I need to get in order to get that one pack. Well, okay. Each of these missions take between 3 and 10 minutes. And as you can see, there's quite a few of them here. So if you want to do all of these heroic missions, for example, in one go, it's probably going to take you about 4 hours. For each one completed, you're getting 22,000 credits. So you put that into perspective, right? I'm getting 22,000 credits per heroic, but I need 185 million to get one pack. And let's say I don't even get what I wanted in that pack. I gotta get another one. So so it's absolutely ludicrous just how destroyed this game is. I'm going to put it in bigger perspective here. Okay. 22,418 credits per heroic. You need to get up to 185 million credits. Do you know how many heroics you have to do? 8,252. You have to do 8,252 of these little guys. I was about to start swearing. And that's just for one pack. Can you imagine doing 8,252 missions just for one pack? More surprisingly enough, it seems like people are doing it, but they're actually not. They're actually circumventing the refer a friend, and they're just piling up cartel coins through the refer a friend by scamming people. This whole game is one big, massive scam. I'm probably going to get banned from this game soon. And that's economics. That's the state of the economy in SWTOR. Would you, I'm going to ask you guys in my live chat right now, would you guys rather do the 8,252 missions, out of all of which just that list is roughly about 100 heroics? So you take that into perspective. You want to do 100 heroics, that's going to take you 3 to 4 hours of work just to do them, right? So if you're going to spend 4 hours for 100 heroics at 22,000, you're only going to get, you're barely going to be pushing, you're barely going to be pushing 2.2 million, about 2.4. If you finish all of them.
If you have a starship capable of
now, 2.4 million seems like a lot of credits, but you take a look at that market. You want to try and buy equipment on that market, and you're going to quickly realize that 2.4 million is akin to pocket change in this game. That's how bad the economy is in this game, and Bioware refuses to fix it. Oh, we can't fix it. I know we screwed up back in 2012, but we can't fix that. We can't take the credits away from these people. Guild Wars 2 did it. Guild Wars 2 regulated their market. Guild Wars 2 had their market regulated since the beginning. You can't put anything on the market for like a bazillion gold in Guild Wars 2 because the market's regulated by the company, and that is what exactly is needed in order for Star Wars: The Old Republic. In order to get this game back on the rails, they have to take control of the market. They got to, otherwise it's just like, as I said, you're going to rely on the cartel market. And that's what EA and Bioware are pushing you towards. They're making it the reason why they're not going after the credit dealers and the people who are exploiting the game for the economy, is because they're driving you towards the cartel market. They want you to spend that $50 as opposed to doing that 8,252 heroics. If I could just open up my wallet and just pay you $50 and get the crate, I don't have to spend 60 to 90 days trying to get that one pack, which the inflated prices is just going to drive it higher in 3 months anyway. So it's just a revolving door of monotonity. That's the problem with this game. That is the ugly of this game. BioWare and EA know full well what they're doing. They're purposely making it so you don't know what you're getting in the hyper crates and the gold packs. Like, gold armor pack is random. Silver armor pack, random. See, as you can see, and you can see, it doesn't tell you what you're getting. It just says, it contains 1 full armor set. Do you know how many armor sets are in this game? Do you know how many armor sets that are in this game that are of gold quality? A lot of shitty. Okay, there's my first swear, guys. A lot of crappy gear is in the gold set. And it's going to cost you 1,200 cartel coins, which is roughly about $12 US. You could spend $12 US on the crappiest items. because it's all randomized. They don't care. They got your money. They don't care what you think. It's like Disney. Disney doesn't give a damn what you think about its movies. You already paid to go and see it. If you already got your ticket and you went into that theater, it doesn't matter if you spend 5 minutes in there, 2 hours in there. They don't give a shit. They already got your money. So this game is much the same. They don't care. VTB BNK asks, the cartel market situation... Oh, he says, the cartel market situation isn't changing without a change of publisher from EA, and that won't be happening. Very true. And it's the reasons why I said. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how they're making money. They know they can make money. And the reason why they're making money is because of what I just showed you. You're only making 22,000 credits per heroic. You need 8,252 of them. I just showed you. And you'd rather just get your pack right now. You want your pack right now? Sure, it's only $50 US, which equates to about $74, $75 Canadian if you go through PayPal, plus PayPal's taxes if you're going through PayPal. Roughly about $80 Canadian. Roughly about 54 US. I'm going to teach you guys another ugly thing that SWTOR does to you. Let's say you want credits, right? I'm going to go to the cartel market. I'm going to purchase an item. I'm going to wait that freaking day and a half bullshit before I can put it onto the market. And then I'm going to stick it onto the market so I can make money. Well, what you just did is you spent $50 US trying to get 185 million or so credits, right? Well, here's the kicker. You're not going to get 185 million credits. So, you put this into perspective. You spend $50 US, you get your 185 million credits. The game takes money away from you when you put items onto that GTN. If you can't sell it,
and 11 are closed to public traffic until evacuees from Dantooine
if you can't sell it manually and you have to rely on the GTN takes, I think it's 8% of your money. So what this means is, let's say you sell it for 185 mil, it's going to take 8% of that away from you. Or did they increase it to 10 now? I'm pretty sure it's 8%. When I put an item on the market just a few days ago for 145 million. Bioware gave me back. No, it was 155 million. I apologize. I put my item on the market for 155 million. Bioware gave me back 141 million out of it. They took 14 million credits. Putting that into full perspective, right? That's what they do. They took 14 million credits out of that money, which means not only are they taking the $50 US from you, they're actually taking roughly about $7 more away from you. So they're robbing you And you just don't know it. Because it's subtle. It's subtle robbery. If you're putting something on sale for $155 million, you just spent $50 to get that item. You expect to get your money back, right? Well, you expect to get your value's worth. Your value's worth of that $50 US that you just spent is $155 million. Well, let's just say it's $185 million. Let's say you bought that hyper crate and you put it onto the GTN for $185 million. They're going to take 8% of that. It's going to just disappear. The money is going to be destroyed. It's ridiculous. And it's thievery. But they can get away with it. And you're letting them get away with it. And that's the price you pay. So not only are you spending the $50, they're taking another $7 away from it. So really, you're getting about $43 of value for a $50 item. That's the price of microtransactions, people. That's the ugly of this game. Normally that was only supposed to last about 20 minutes, but I had a lot to say there. So, with that done, let's go on to the good of this game. We've been talking about the ugly for about 25 minutes. Let's talk about the good in this game. All right, good aspects in this game. Graphics are actually holding up quite well to this day. If you put this game on max graphics, like what I've done, you'll quickly see like this game's visual appeal hasn't changed since day one. It still looks and feels like a Star Wars universe. I'm not quite understanding your question, Luigi. So we're going to go to this window here. We're going to look at the visuals of this game. You're looking at this game on maximum graphics. This is the maximum graphics this game can handle. Everything's at maxed out. As you can see. This game is literally at max graphics here. So, you're looking at this game at the absolute best it's going to present to you. Of course, you're looking at it from a shielded screen right now because I'm not out there, but nonetheless. You get the feel that you are in a Star Wars universe. You have a lot going on out there. You've got the cars flying around. You've got the skyways. You've got ships coming in and out. You've got the massive heat of the sun coming at you. You've got the buildings. You've got the construction stuff going on. There's a lot going on in the background. The game is huge. It's highly immersive. You go into these worlds, and these worlds, although you're kind of literally put into this particular area of this world, what you experience in this world, in these areas, are fantastic. This game is beautiful. It holds up to this day. Of course, it's not like the whole super crazy experiences that you see like in Battlefront 2, but for a game that was made for a game that came out in 2012, it's really good. Like, you can see the bottom, you can see the ground. It's not glitching out. It looks nice. You are on Coruscant. The visuals are really beautiful. You want to go into another world. The galaxy map is flooded with worlds. The only bad thing that I will say about this game is the fact that there's no day and night time. Almost every planet is always daytime. There's roughly only 2 or 3 planets out there where the sky is actually different. Which is why I love Ilum so much. I love Ilum just to look at the sky because it's so different from the rest of the game. I love looking at a night sky in a game. In Final Fantasy XIV, my character will just lay on the ground and I'll just aim the camera up at the stars and I'll see the stars moving along with the moon. And I find myself at peace there. Another thing about this game that I do like is the fact that every time that your ship docks at a station, you have to go through the airlock to get to where you need to go. I know that seems tedious for some people, but for me, I find that highly immersive because that's exactly what you'd have to be doing. And each station, although it has almost the same general visual, everything's different. Everything's different, like put in different areas and such. Another thing I love about the worlds is like the fact that they're all different. You stare at a single world and that world will always look different. You'll see moons flying around the planet. You'll see the planet going around suns. You'll see suns burning and glowing. It's great stuff. Like, this is why I love Ilum so much. Look at this sky. Like, that's incredible. You can see like comets. You can see like comets streaking across the night sky. Like, it's beautiful. This is among the most gorgeous sky that I've seen in this game. Even the clouds are moving. The clouds are moving over this other planet over here and its moon. This world is just gorgeous. I love it. Another good thing I love about this game in terms of visuals are, well, the lightsabers. The lightsabers are amazing in this game. You have some really ugly lightsaber designs, like hilt designs, but the blades, the sounds that they make, everything feels like Star Wars. When you lock your weapon back to your hip, it's literally like how a Jedi in the movie does it. They click the lightsaber hilt, the blade retracts, you clip it back to your side. So, that's another great thing I love about this game. Of course, I'm playing a healer, so I can't show you too many force abilities because it's all about healing. But, like, the healing in this game is, it's quite solid, actually. Of course, my numbers seem very small. It's because one thing about this game is this game restricts your level depending on what planet you're on. If you're not on a high level planet, it's going to dock your levels down to the maximum level that planet will take you as. For example, if you go on a starting world, it doesn't matter if you're level 75 or level 50 or level 15. It's going to drop you to that. It's going to drop you to the maximum level of that planet. Which on a starting world, the maximum level on a planet is, I think, 12. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're level 75. You're level 12 on that planet, and this game will knock you down to that level. It's called level capping. Another thing that I do highly enjoy about this game is the interaction between players. This game is heavily community driven. It's extremely toxic, but the role player community, especially in Starforge and Darth Malgus EU, are incredible people. Like, the roleplay community is what has kept this game alive. If the roleplay community in this game ever died, this game would be gone. This game would have been gone a long time ago. So, another thing that is really great about this game, visually, the outfits. The outfits are beautiful. Yeah, they cost a lot of money. Trust me. I spent thousands of dollars on this game to get the outfits that I've got. Thousands. And these are like some of the things that I got, as you can see. This weapon here, this blade here, cost me $50 US to get. And this is what it looks like. Let me turn my character around here. Isn't that a beautiful sword? And if you put like if you put a color crystal on it, the glow of the blade changes color in accordance to the crystal. So, but my favorite is, of course, this, the lightsaber pike. These lightsaber pikes are absolutely my favorite weapon in this game. So you can see. Like, that weapon is very sexy. So we've gotten into visuals. Told you what I personally enjoy about visuals. I told you about the ugly in this game. Let's talk about story. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to sit up here and look at the stars. We're going to go first person view for a minute. Let's go first person view. All right. Let's actually look at the, look at all the shooting stars now. Not all the comets. Anyway, let's talk about the story. The story has goods and bads to it. Story-wise, the first 3 chapters were great. It really showed you what Bioware had in mind for this game, and they executed it brilliantly. Yeah, the consular could have probably been done a little bit better, but the story in the consular really ramped up in the 3rd chapter. It was worth the slogfest. I still say the number one best storyline in this game is still the Agent, followed by the Jedi Knight, followed by the Sith Warrior, and then the Republic Trooper. Actually, if you want my opinion, the my two bottom favorites are respectively, second lowest is the Bounty Hunter storyline, and the lowest is the Consular. The Smuggler wasn't that much good either, but the Smuggler, at least, you got your sweet ending. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I'm sure all of you have played this game before. But the ending of Chapter 3 for the Smuggler is well worth the slogfest that you went through. It's incredible stuff. I loved the ending. And then it starts getting a little shaky. The EA comes in, they take control of the game, they consolidate all of the classes into one big storyline, and then they start running a singular storyline. So they turn this beautiful MMORPG into a single-player RPG with an MMO community. Like, your friends, it's very difficult for your friends to join you on these missions because the storylines are all consolidated. In Rise of the Hutt Cartel, which was the first expansion that came out, essentially what happened was a planet was in peril. They're trying to evacuate the planet if you're on Republic side, and you're trying to get everybody off world. Which is fine. It was okay. It was okay. The way that they consolidated the storyline, it still felt like you were accomplishing something, whether you were a Force user or not. Because a Republic Trooper, for example, would do the same thing. They would help the people get off world, right? So, and the Smuggler, yeah, they might do it for money. If there's credits to be had, they'll totally do it. And for the Imperial side, it was the opposite. You were trying to purposely get the people off the world so you could take what's on the world, and basically turn the world into an Imperial occupied and Imperial owned planet, which the Empire actually succeeded at doing. You'll find out in the story. And then it started getting a little shaky from there. After Rise of the Hutt Cartel, you had Shadow of Revan. Well, you had the prelude to Shadow of Revan, which came out in a volley of dungeons. You had a whole whack of dungeons, which are called flashpoints in this game. And you had to do them in successive order. First, like if you were a Jedi, for example, you would go to Korriban first, and then you would hop, skip, and a jump to Tython, and then you would hop, skip, and a jump to Manon, and then you would hop, skip, and a jump to Rakata Prime. The prelude, it had story in it in between the dungeons. So after you complete a dungeon, you enter this little 5-minute story, and then you enter another dungeon, and then of course a 5-minute story, and it builds up there. And of course, in the dungeon, the story progresses because the antagonists are talking to you all throughout the way. Well, in certain areas of the story. For the Imperial side, it was the other way around. But even though it was the other way around, it was still the same story. much like the Rep side, the Imperial side was also tricked in the same manner that the Republic side was. The only difference is, if you're playing Imperial or Sith, you go to Tython first, and then you go back to Korriban, and then you go to Manon, and then you go to Rakatapan. And that's how they slowly converged all of the stories into one, right? And then, of course, Shadow of Revan, Part 1 came out. Basically, you're on Rishi. And then, after Rishi, Part 2 came out. And you're on Yavin 4 and Ziost. So, and then... all the stories massively converged in Part 2. In Part 1, you did have this one section in Part 1 of Shadow of Revan where all 8 classes had their own side story. But it was only one mission. It was a little kind of, I don't know. I call it a slap in the face by EA. EA's like, you thought we were going to do that again forever, didn't you? Yeah, we tricked you. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It was only that one-time offer kind of thing. But after Part 2 of Shadow of Revan, things really started to go downhill. And all of a sudden, the story enters from good into bad, and then as it progresses, it goes from bad into ugly. The bad came in Knights of the Fallen Empire. And there's going to be a few people out there who say Knights of the Fallen Empire is pretty good. If you're a single player, if you're playing a single player game, yeah, it probably would be. If Knights of the Fallen Empire came out on a disc, right? And you could just get it and play it on a disc just by yourself, I would have actually loved the game. But because it's in an MMORPG, which you're supposed to use community to push through, that's where it dropped the ball. Knights of the Fallen Empire was exceedingly consolidated, and it was full-on single player. Whereas all of the other stories, like in Shadow of Revan and in Rise of the Hutt Cartel, you could still take your friends with you to go and do the missions with you. In Knights of the Fallen Empire, you can't do that because it's all instanced. It's all single player. It's literal single player. Single player in all of the right aspects. Or wrong in this case, I guess you could say. And then, of course, Knights of the Fallen Empire turns into Knights of the Eternal Throne. Same thing. It's all single-player instanced nonsense. And then, of course, after Knights of the Eternal Throne, you go into Iokath, and that's where the story goes from bad into ugly. Iokath was the beginning of what turned out to be a major shit show in this game. You're at this pinnacle of power. I've finally got it. I've defeated the Eternal Empire. I've driven back Sakul. They are now completely wrecked. They're isolating themselves. I don't have to deal with them anymore. I'm now the commander of the Alliance. I've got Zakul's ships. I've got the Eternal Fleet. What happens? You lose it. You lose it within a month. At the push of a button. A button! One button ends everything that you just done in the past 2 expansions. Oy, oy, oy. And then you're all trying to stay relevant because the Empire and the Republic now know that the Alliance is literally crippled. Something happened to their to their space force. Giggity. And yeah. And now it's like, well, we don't know if we should ally with you anymore. You're not that dangerous anymore. Sure, you still have the influential power, but you don't have the military power to back it up anymore. You've become insignificant. You're suddenly no longer a focus. So what does Bioware and EA do? They're like, oh shit, we fucked up. Oh, here come my swears. Sorry, guys. We messed up. We gotta undo this. We need to retcon this somehow without actually fully retconning it. How are we going to do that? So what do? They bring in the Republic and the Sith Empire, and they're like, so how would you like to come back into the fold? After everything that's happened, after everything that you've done, after everything in the past couple of expansions, how much you've threatened both sides or allied with one side over the other or allied with neither of them, they suddenly 100% trust you with all of their souls. Oy, oy, oy. And of course, it gives you the option to stay with your alliance. So you could be like, nah, screw you, Republic. I don't want to go back to that nonsense. And you could easily say, sorry, Empire, but I like my position of power I have currently. Why the hell would I go back to the Sith Empire where I don't have absolute authority when I'm here in my alliance and everybody listens to me? That's a no-brainer. Like, why the hell would I go back to the Empire? So, and then of course, Onslaught comes out and they decide, you know what, we got to go back to Corellia. And it's like, do you remember what happened the last time we went to Corellia? It didn't turn out so well for the Sith Empire. But no, we've got a better army this time. Yeah, but how are you going to sell it? We'll bring Malgus back. The guy who was defeated all the frickin' way back in Vanilla Chapter 3? Yeah, that guy. Okay. Well, how are we bringing him back? Well, we're just going to throw him in there and he's just going to be there. Okay. And then what? I don't know. He's just going to do stuff. He's going to just suddenly hate the Republic. And he's just going to go and kill people. Okay. Does he have a reason? No, we haven't figured that out yet. Okay. And is he the pinnacle of the Empire? No. This other woman is. Okay. Why is Malgus not at the pinnacle of power? We don't know. Haven't figured that out yet. Okay. So you could see that Bioware and EA have no frickin' idea what they're doing. They have no idea. So the storyline starts up here, goes to about here. Rise of the Hutt Cartel puts it up a little bit. Shadow of Revan kind of puts it up a little bit. Well, the first part does. Second part bombs. Knights of the Fallen Empire just bombs. And it just goes downhill from there. As soon as IOCAST started, that's when it went off the charts into Deadsville. And that's the reason why, in order to stay legit as an MMO, EA and Bioware are trying to sell the game to new players. Oh yeah, come immerse yourself in Star Wars: The Old Republic. We've got so much here for you. Not really. What do you have for new players coming into this game? Destroyed economy, messed up storyline, toxic community. You could say that about any game, really. No one helps each other. You've got a companion that if you take a companion out and use it to fight, you're invincible. You've got super crazy difficult dungeons that you have to do with a group of 4. And because in veteran mode flashpoints dungeons, you don't even need a tank or a healer. You could go in as 4 DPS and get your ass handed to you. If you go into quad drive yards as 4 DPS, you're not going to make it. You're going to get destroyed in there. Especially if you're facing the Jedi, or the Sith, or the Trooper. So yeah, that's the good, the bad, and the ugly of Star Wars: The Old Republic. We are going to take the last 13 minutes of this Let's Talk segment, and I will answer any questions you may ask in the live chat. If you guys have any, just type away in the live chat. I will do my best to answer you. And I can see the live chat here, so I'll be able to respond as quickly as possible. So, next 13 minutes. Ask your questions. I will respond to the best of my ability. I was talking for a good hour and some there, so I was had to have a little bit of a drink of water there. I don't know if my chatters want to say something. We'll find out. I guess all in all, I guess you could say if I were to give this game stars, like best of 5 kind of thing, I would say it's probably a 2.5. 2.5 stars out of 5. Maybe I should do something in further segments. Maybe instead of like 5 stars, I should be like, 5 something. Oh. Either way, seems like nobody has any questions, so I will end it early. All right. I want to thank you all for joining me for this segment of Let's Talk Star Wars: The Old Republic. For next Wednesday, we're going to do another one. The next segment of Let's Talk will be World of Warcraft Classic. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting. Session to talk about. So I hope you join me for that. We're going to do World of Warcraft Classic next week, and then the week after that will be Final Fantasy XIV. And so I want to thank you all for joining me today for today's stream. I am Ashley LGRJ for Pendulum Games and Hobbies Archives, without the S. We will see you guys again soon. Thank you.